Hi and welcome. This video is a short introduction to ReadSpeaker. ReadSpeaker was one of my latest partners, and I'm thrilled to partner with them because I really can see value in their software. So this afternoon I am I'm joined even by Emily Worthington. Hello, Emily.
Hi, thanks for
How,
Louise.
how are you this afternoon?
Yes, I'm very good. Yeah,
Good,
lovely.
good. So you have a product called ReadSpeaker, and ReadSpeaker has been developed to help people who may have some challenges when it comes to learning or indeed life. I know it's not just for students, it's also for adults. So tell us a little bit about ReadSpeaker, please.
Yeah, of course. So, ReadSpeaker are we're a text-to-speech specialty company. So we're specialists in creating voices, using AI technology to create voices using voice actors, and then we use AI to be able to create voices from that, synthetic voices. So we've been around for 25 years, and as you mentioned, it's not just we're not just in the education industry. We provide text-to-speech solutions to a wide range of industries with lots of different audiences. But within education, our focus is really on making educational content accessible, more inclusive, more engaging for students from K-12 through to higher education. It can be used, like you mentioned, it can be used for people who have some struggles with learning. So, for example, if you have neurodiverse students or students with dyslexia, with focus differences, it can be used for them. But it is actually also we really live by the Universal Design for Learning guidelines that it can be used by anyone, really, anyone who's got a preference for listening rather than reading.
Awesome. I love how you talk about voices. I've got enough voices in my head. I'm not sure I need any more voices. Okay, so I use text, speech to text quite
Yes.
often. So are you speech to text or text to speech?
So our specialty is text to speech. So you'll have, say you've got some written content on a screen, our software, our technology can read that out in a lot of different, like you can choose the voice, you can choose the language that you listen to that in. But within our one of our products, Text Aid, which is our product for education, students are also able to dictate as well, and it will use that speech to text technology too to be able to write down what they're speaking. So it goes
Okay.
into that different
It's two,
expression.
it's
Yeah,
two-way streets.
yeah.
Okay, you talked there about languages. Can it take an English piece of text and convert that to Arabic, for example?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, lots of different languages. So I think we have 70 plus languages at the moment. We're always developing new languages as well. And yes, if you've got an English piece of content and you have an Arabic, a learner who maybe speaks Arabic at home but is learning in English in the classroom, they can listen to that English bit of content in Arabic. They can just press the button, they choose the language they want to listen to it, and it will translate it for them. So the translation tool can read it out for them, but it'll also be written out for them. So they can select a piece of text, click translate. They'll have that in Arabic written down, but they can also press listen, so they'll be able to listen to it in Arabic as well.
So when we talk about translation, I know that translating English to Arabic and vice versa can be incredibly fraught with problems. I know Google Translate is not something that is particularly popular out here for that. So how would you work around students translating text from a language point of view?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really good tool for if a student is reading an English piece of content and they come across a word in English that they're not sure on. We have the translate tool and a dictionary tool as well, so they can look it up on the dictionary. Or if they're still not sure, they can press the translate button. They can highlight that particular word, press the translate button, and it'll translate it into Arabic, and they can read it and listen to it in Arabic. So it's really, it's a really good way of selecting individual words and just helping with that comprehension of individual words, definitely.
Okay, so I really like a good case study. So could you give me an example of where you've implemented the tool into either with a student or with a school where we've had some success? What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, we've got a really great case study here in the UK, so not in Dubai, but one of our clients is Stafford Grammar School, and they use our text aid product. They have it available for all of their students, and it's part of like a big wellbeing initiative. They started a wellbeing program, and we've had multiple conversations with them. We've had multiple testimonials back from the students who are using it. One, for example, has dyslexia and she uses it in her studies. It's also available to her in assessment as well. So I know, that's a big question is how can we use this as accommodations for assessments? She also uses it in her assessments. There's an exam mode which is easily turned on. And then another example of one of the students in that particular school who's using it is a student who at home, her family speak Arabic. So it's in the UK, but her family speak Arabic at home. And the school are obviously teaching in English. And so she uses that tool. If she comes across a word she's not sure of in English, she's able to use to look at it in Arabic. She's able to upload worksheets into it. The teachers can upload worksheets and share them with the whole class. And it just gives them that little bit of help
Bit
when
of
they're trying
security,
to,
right? Rather than going
yeah,
to a dictionary and picking up the
exactly.
book, which you might not have with you all of the time. Okay, so there's lots of different widgets and tools within the software. It's
Yeah.
not just one thing does all. So tell me your top three when
Oh,
if you're using it, and I'm going to give you a little bit of time to think about it. So if you're using it and you or the top three that you've seen being used by students that people are repeatedly saying, this is the bit that I love.
yeah. So as you said, it's much more than just text to speech. So that's all I've talked about, really, isn't it? Is just having a read learning tools and accessibility tools. And I think my favorite one is you can highlight a bit of text and turn on it's kind of like a karaoke mode. So
Okay.
it makes the font much larger for them. So if someone who's got dyslexia maybe needs it bigger, or if they've got visual impairment and they just need bigger text, and it comes across the bottom of the screen, and as it's being read out, it's highlighted across the bottom, kind of like a karaoke. And I love
Love
karaoke,
it.
so
Yeah.
that's sort of a really um, is something that I
I
love
like the
about it.
microphone and the play acting more than I like the singing, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, no, my singing's not great. But he doesn't have to be in
I
karaoke,
don't
does
think it
it?
does in karaoke. Yes.
No, it's the point. And then one of my other, I think the translation tools are just amazing. I worked for the International Baccalaureate, so I know how many different languages how many different nationalities international schools can have.
Yeah.
And when you're thinking about those students who English might not even be their second language, it could be their fifth language, and they've got this option to translate the English content to just help them with their understanding. I think that's a really good tool.
That's lovely. So what is your third top tool?
Yeah, so the I think the other one which is really, really great is the page mask tool. So I do this and I don't have a diagnosed disability, and I am on websites and I highlight a section of text so that I can focus on that section of text. And the page mask does the same basically for students. So they're struggling to focus because they've got a whole long page of content to read. um, the page mask will move down with the content, so it just shows the bit of text that's being read out loud.
Okay,
Um,
that makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Oh, and something else I just thought of from a previous conversation, does it embed into websites as well?
yeah, yeah, so that's another amazing thing. So we have TextAid, which is sort of like the individual tool for education, but we integrate into all platforms basically. So we have Web Reader, which is available on websites. So the school website could be speech enabled to show parents, how accessible the school is and how much the school is dedicated to accessibility and inclusion. But if a school also has learning management systems, for example, if they're using Moodle for anything, or if they're using an assessment platform, we also have integrations directly into those as well. So
Okay.
basically they can be available to all students, regardless of whether they send students or if they just prefer listening to the
Awesome.
content, they can make use of that too.
Okay, that's fabulous. So there is lots more to learn about the offer that you have and the support you have. It's for children, specifically within education, but it is also for businesses and for industry and
Yeah.
for adults and all types of accessibility across many different platforms. So I know that you have a marketing page on my website, Louise Dawson slash ReadSpeaker, louisedawson.com/ReadSpeaker, but you also have your own website, which is readspeaker dot.
ReadSpeaker.com/education. So if you head to the education page, that's where you'll find all the information on all the
Awesome.
different, learning and training that we can enable.
Awesome. And so then there's also the website, there's the email address, and there's a phone number so anybody can get in touch. All demonstrations are free of charge. They can get in
Yes, yeah,
touch
we
with
can
you,
do.
have a conversation, and work out if this is the right software for your school.
Yeah, that's great. We can even provide sandbox accounts as well for schools to give a little
Okay.
trial
A
there.
demo and trial.
Yeah.
Okay, that's amazing. Thank you so much for your time. I hope that people watching and listening have found that useful and interesting, but also to make contact because you're pretty approachable.
Very
And
approachable.
conversations are free, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, we're
Awesome.
really approachable. We've got a great support team as well. So, any issues when it's come into trials, our support team are so responsive and really, really helpful. So worth getting.
Amazing. Thank you very much for your time this afternoon, and we'll
Thank
speak to
you.
you again soon.
Thanks, Louise.